Everything's dropping. It feels so weird to be back in this filming spot. Winter break is officially over. Happy 2020, everybody. Welcome to my graduation year. I guess also, hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenna. I'm a senior at Marquette University, and we are here today to talk about back to school essentials and like my tips and tricks and whatnot to be successful in college and school. I guess it's like school in general. It feels so weird being a senior. That is so wild. Starting off really simple. Obviously you need pens and all that good stuff for classes. I personally love color coding everything in my life. I'm just gonna tell you like some of my favorite pens, mainly for like taking notes in class. I use either my computer or my iPad. Then for every other aspect of my life, so my planner and studying for exams and whatnot, I handwrite everything. Marker wise, I really like these. I have no idea how to say it. Stabilo. I love these markers. They come in a variety of colors. I have so many colors. I bought a big pack at Michael's and I used a coupon, so they like weren't that expensive. Individually, they're kind of pricey, but they are really nice. Although I will say, depending on the type of paper, sometimes they do bleed out a little bit, but that's really just paper dependent. For super fine tip pens, I love the Uniball Signo DX. They come in a variety of colors. These are like navy blue. I've had brighter blues and black. I really like these. They're very fine point, so I could write super, super small. Obviously, highlighters. I just have Sharpie ones. I have the big yellow ones. I have this little blue one. Highlighters, hello, it's school. More recently, I got into the Papermate Inkjoy gel pen. These are the 0.5 and I really like them. I ordered them on Amazon. I also got just a bunch of colors. I got the big pack. One of the biggest things that I feel like makes me easily be able to get an A, obviously like doing the work and putting in the time and all that, but staying on top of all my assignments, due dates, and everything using my planner. I got this planner for $7.99 at HomeGoods. This is the layout of it. I've been using this layout of a planner for the last 3 years and I absolutely love it. I will go through and show how I like to set it up. Essentially, I write out all of my class schedules. So I'm taking this class at this time on this day and I write all of that out. And then on this side, I put out my classes, and then right away when I get my syllabus, I go through week by week to make sure that if I am in class on that day, it already has it written down. If classes are canceled for certain days, it is all written down, and all of my assignments are already all written down. I like to go off of my syllabus my professors provide and write out assignment by assignment on this side for what is due this week and the next week, or if it's a big project, then like I give it like a 3-week span. On days that I have something due, instead of just writing it over here, I also add it to the dates on this side. We have reading quizzes and I put read on here just to make sure that I remember to read, because sometimes this could be overwhelming if it's really full. The stuff that is written here are immediate to-dos. This is when it's due, this is what is due. And then I also put reminders to print assignments if professors prefer it in like a hard copy version instead of just like submitting it to a Dropbox. I cannot recommend doing this more. It is very time consuming. Going through all of your various syllabuses size, very time consuming to put every assignment and every due date in. But if you do it in the beginning of the year, like it's syllabus week, hello, you don't actually have anything mega due. It is so worth it because missing assignments is a stupid way to lose points. In addition to just planning out my classes, I like to make notes of other things I'm involved in. If I work a job, I write down my hours and it'll all be in the same color. If there's a basketball game, I write it down. That way I know where it's at, what time it's at, who we're playing. If I have a sorority event, it is also written down. My whole life is in this book. I make to-do lists, I make grocery lists. Everything is written down in this. In addition to setting up my planner and writing out everything from the syllabus, I like to set up my Excel sheet, which I sort of talked about in, I'll link it above, my How I Study for Finals video. I take the syllabus that my professor gives me and I immediately make an Excel spreadsheet going through all the assignments, the points that it's worth, and putting in projected grades so I can see what I should get on every assignment in order to get that A. And then as the semester progresses and I do assignments and I get my grades back, I update the grade to match what my actual grade is. Then that way, by the time midterms and finals comes around, I know exactly what I have to do. I know what to prioritize. I know what I need to do to get that grade. It is time consuming, but it's so worth it. School supplies, another thing I would recommend is getting like a mini stapler. I have it in my backpack somewhere. I don't feel like grabbing it right now, but just a mini stapler, keep it in your backpack. As far as note-taking goes, I like to take notes either on my laptop using OneNote or on my iPad, but when it comes to making lists and studying and really like actually learning the information, I like using a notebook. On Instagram, a company called Unruled reached out to me and they sent me this notebook to try out because in my How I Study for Finals video, I talk about how I like to use printer paper instead of lined notebook paper to do all of my notes and to study. And they thought that this product I would be really into. So what this is exactly what it seems like it would be. It is an unruled notebook. The pages you can tear out if you would like to. Another part of the brand is that it says empowering visual thinkers through environmentally responsible product design. And then it goes through the paper's environmental impact. And they have like environmental partnerships. Instead of always having to carry around folders full of printer paper, this is a really wonderful option. I'm a very visual learner and thinker, and I like being able to draw out thought bubbles or make columns and color code things, and just the freedom that unlined paper gives you. I find it to be super helpful. Like even for this video, I made a sheet and I spread things out, what makes sense to me, like the points I want to talk about and whatnot. This is awesome. One thing that I wanted to really check out with this paper is how it takes to those like markers that I use and the pens. And what I found is that it is really good quality paper. All of the pens that I used, I have no problem, like none of them bled through. The only things that like barely are showing through are when I like really colored in areas. Highlighters didn't go through, pens didn't go through, and only the very edges where the ink really was pressed in for the markers bled through onto the other side. The markers also didn't bleed out when I was drawing and writing, which is really nice because then I'm able to write smaller, more condensed, and not have to worry about it bleeding out. I will link this Unruled notebook down below. Their Instagram is also Be Unruled if you want to check them out. Tips I have to be successful throughout the semester that I haven't touched on already would be, I like having a one folder system. In my backpack, I only have one folder. I only keep the most important things, so handouts, or if you have an assignment, you have to print it off, I put it in the one folder. That way I don't have any moments of being like, oh, I grabbed the wrong folder and I don't have my assignment. Don't buy the textbooks until you have to. Push it off. Find a way to get them cheaper. Don't buy them from a bookstore. One thing that I do love is if you have an iPad, I really like getting Kindle versions. That way I can read and highlight and everything right on my iPad. If you are an athlete or have a disability and need accommodations, or if you have a trip planned, like let's say you're leaving for spring break a day or two early, tell your professors the first week of class. That way you don't have to think about it and everything's all set. When it comes to travel plans, what I would recommend first is to look at the syllabus that your professor gives you and check out their policies about attendance. I know last February, I was going to Arizona and I would be missing one class. And I ended up not even telling my professor because in the syllabus it said that he had a rule of you can like miss 2 classes unexcused with no penalties. And so I'm like, sick. I'm gonna use one of those classes. So you can tell them at that point, it's just up to you if you want to. Alrighty, these have been my like tips and tricks and school supplies that I highly recommend. That is all for now. I will see you guys later. Bye.